Era una luminosa mattina di lunedì a Savannah, in Georgia. Vanessa Cole adjusted the brim of her vintage straw hat and straightened her navy blue blazer before stepping out of her compact, well-kept hybrid car. Ahead of her loomed the upscale dealership, its glass facade reflecting the morning sun. Vanessa aveva ammirato un particolare SUV di lusso per mesi, un simbolo di trionfo silenzioso dopo decenni di dedizione e perseveranza. Today she was finally ready to make it hers. As she stepped inside, the air-conditioned showroom felt icy, not because of the temperature, but because of the stairs. Conversations among the staff paused and curious eyes swept over her. Vanessa era vestita in modo semplice ma elegante. Her blazer was tailored, her shoes polished, though her worn leather handbag hinted at years of use. Yet it wasn't her attire that drew their scrutiny. It was her warm brown skin and salt and pepper curls. A salesman with a sleek haircut and an overly tight suit approached her, his name tag reading Greg. He offered a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Good morning, ma'am," he said, his tone polite but perfunctory. "How can I help you today?" Vanessa smiled back, her voice calm and confident. "Good morning, I'd like to take a closer look at the 2024 Infiniti QX80. She gestured toward the sleek pearl-white SUV on display in the center of the showroom. Greg's smile faltered for a fraction of a second before he recovered. "Certo, la QX80 è un veicolo notevole. Are you sure you're looking for something in that range?" His tone dripped with condescension as he gestured vaguely toward the lower-end models at the edge of the showroom floor. Vanessa rispose con calma, il volto impassibile. "Ne sono certa." Another salesman, a younger man named Eric, wandered over, clearly intrigued. He leaned toward Greg and muttered something under his breath. Both chuckled. Vanessa didn't miss the exchange, but she ignored it. Instead, she walked over to the Infiniti and placed a hand on the hood, running her fingers over its pristine surface. "Qual è il prezzo di questo modello?" she asked. Greg folded his arms, his smirk returning. "This one starts at $85,000, he said slowly, as if speaking to someone who might not grasp the magnitude of the number. Vanessa nodded thoughtfully, taking in the details of the car and its features. "Is this one fully loaded?" Greg shrugged. "Oh, it's got all the bells and whistles, but you know we have some excellent pre-owned models as well." Il gruppo di venditori scambiò sguardi divertiti. E un'altra voce dall'altra parte della sala aggiunse. Un altro venditore mormorò: "Forse è qui solo per un test drive. Got to live the dream somehow." The laughter that followed was soft but sharp enough to pierce the calm Vanessa maintained. Without another word, she thanked Greg and walked out of the dealership, her heart pounding not with anger, but with determination. Pausing by her car, she looked back at the gleaming building, adjusting her hat. She got into her car and drove away, her mind already racing with plans. Vanessa Cole non era solo una donna comune sulla cinquantina con un blazer e scarpe comode. La sua storia era di resilienza silenziosa e ambizione incrollabile. Nata e cresciuta in una piccola città vicino a Charleston, nella Carolina del Sud, era cresciuta in un'epoca in cui le opportunità per le donne nere erano scarse. Her parents, both school teachers, had instilled in her a deep sense of pride and a relentless work ethic. Vanessa aveva trascorso 30 anni a costruire la sua carriera nel settore finanziario, scalando i ranghi in un'industria dove era spesso l'unica donna di colore presente. She didn't just manage money, she mastered it. Through meticulous planning and smart investment, Vanessa had built a portfolio that allowed her to retire early. But retirement didn't mean idleness. Ha riversato le sue energie nel mentoring di giovani donne di colore, aiutandole a navigare le carriere e a superare le barriere che aveva affrontato. L'SUV non era solo un'auto per Vanessa, rappresentava un traguardo, una ricompensa tangibile per decenni di disciplina e sacrificio. But her visit to the dealership was a stark reminder of how the world still judged people based on appearances. That evening, Vanessa sat at her dining table, a cup of green tea steaming beside her, as she reviewed her financial records. She had seen the dealership's listing months ago while browsing investment opportunities. At the time, she dismissed it as uninteresting, but now it seemed almost poetic. With quiet resolve, she picked up the phone and called her financial advisor. The next morning, the dealership buzzed with its usual activity. Salespeople gathered near the coffee station, laughing and sharing stories about eccentric customers. Greg was in the middle of recounting yesterday's encounter. "I mean, did you see her? She probably doesn't even make that much in a year," he said, stirring his coffee. Eric sorrise. "Sei più gentile di me. I'd have told her to check out the used car lot down the street." The laughter that followed was loud and unrestrained, the kind that assumes the subject of the joke will never hear it. Ma Vanessa non era il tipo di persona che lasciava passare tali momenti inosservati. A mezzogiorno era seduta in una sala conferenze con il proprietario della concessionaria, finalizzando i documenti. By the end of the meeting, she held the keys to more than just a car. She owned the entire dealership. That afternoon, Vanessa returned to the showroom. This time, she didn't linger by the cars. Instead, she headed straight for the manager's office. The general manager, a man named Jeff, greeted her with a puzzled expression. Posso aiutarla? Chiese. Vanessa sorrise. Yes, I believe it's time to gather the staff. Ho un annuncio da fare. In pochi minuti l'intero team si riunì nel salone. Greg ed Eric stavano sul retro con la loro precedente spacconata sostituita dalla curiosità. Vanessa fece un passo avanti con una postura che ispirava rispetto. Good afternoon, she began, her voice steady. My name is Vanessa Cole, and as of this morning I am the new owner of this dealership. The room fell silent. Greg's face turned pale and Eric shifted uncomfortably. Jeff rimase a bocca aperta ma si ricompose rapidamente. Excuse me, he stammered. Vanessa nodded. Proprio così. L'accordo è stato finalizzato poche ore fa. I wanted to introduce myself and outline some changes we'll be making. She paused, letting her words sink in. Ieri sono venuta come potenziale cliente e sono stata trattata con mancanza di professionalità e rispetto. That's going to change. Effective immediately, this dealership will operate with a new set of standards. Every customer who walks through these doors will be treated with dignity, regardless of their appearance. Greg's voice was barely a whisper. It was just a misunderstanding. Vanessa's gaze landed on him unwavering. È stata un'opportunità, lo corresse, per mostrare gentilezza e professionalità e tu l'hai persa. But I believe in second chances, so consider this yours. Over the next weeks, Vanessa implemented sweeping changes. She introduced training programs on customer service and diversity, held workshops on unconscious bias, and started community outreach initiatives. Some employees resisted and eventually left, but those who stayed found themselves inspired by her leadership. Greg, humbled by the experience, began to transform. Vanessa didn't single him out for punishment, but instead guided him with firm yet supportive feedback. He eventually became one of the dealership's top performers, known for his genuine rapport with customers. One day, a young woman in a faded hoodie and sneakers walked into the showroom, her wide eyes scanning the cars nervously. Greg approached her with a warm smile. Welcome, he said. How can I help you today? Vanessa watched the interaction from her office, a quiet smile on her face. Moments like this made all the effort worthwhile. The dealership wasn't just a business anymore. It was a symbol of transformation, a place where respect and integrity were non-negotiable. For Vanessa, the greatest triumph wasn't owning the dealership or turning it into a community pillar. It was seeing the change in the people around her. She had taken a moment of humiliation and turned it into an opportunity to redefine what success looked like, not just for herself, but for everyone who crossed her path. And in doing so, she reminded the world that respect isn't optional, it's essential.